Am I the asshole for uninviting my Mill from Thanksgiving because she refuses to eat my cooking? This year I, 32F, am hosting Thanksgiving at my house and I have been working all month on coming up with the menu and testing all my recipes. I am so excited to share my cooking with my family, and my husband, 35M, has been supportive and helpful through all the planning and prep work. I have bought all the ingredients and I have a beautiful variety of dishes planned, both traditional and a few unique additions. Well, today my husband dropped the bombshell on me that his Mill wants to bring her own dinner to eat when she comes over. I asked him why she would need to bring her own food when I will have more than enough here. He just made excuses, saying I know how his mother is a picky eater, and she won't like anything I have prepared. I thought that was ridiculous. I am not making anything unfamiliar to her and there will be plenty to choose from. He argued that her bringing her own dinner would be a good compromise, and I disagree. It will be hugely obvious that she's making a comment on my cooking, and it would be humiliating to have her there eating something completely different in front of everyone. It's like she's trying to make a point of showing that my cooking isn't good enough for her. I think she is being incredibly rude and disrespectful of the time, money, and labor I have put into this upcoming meal. I told him if she can't eat anything here, then she is welcome to stay home and eat whatever she wants. My husband is now calling me insensitive and petty. He says I am ruining the holiday. I don't see it that way. I only want friends and family around who are appreciative and kind. I don't need the negativity of someone rejecting everything I've cooked and insulting my cooking when I've worked so hard. This has truly been a labor of love, and I took on this responsibility to share that love with my family and friends. Am I the asshole for not wanting my Mill to come if she's going to reject everything I've made? Too long did not read. My Mill is refusing to eat anything I cook at Thanksgiving and wants to bring her own personal meal. Am I the asshole for uninviting her? Edit. Because some people are asking. Here is what I plan on serving. Sad face. First, all the traditional Thanksgiving foods: roasted turkey, stuffing, classic creamy mashed potatoes, potatoes au gratin, sweet potato casserole, green bean casserole, cranberry sauce, roasted carrots, homemade bread rolls with apple butter, roasted squash with goat cheese, honey glazed ham, braised short ribs, spinach, bacon, and feta cheese pies, special lasagna with white sauce, stuffed mushrooms, creamed corn with cheese, and then pecan pie, pumpkin pie, and apple pie for desserts. It's a lot. How can there not be one thing she can eat? Update. OMG, there's a lot of replies. Thank you all for weighing in. I've been reading all your responses and have been thinking a lot, and as much as it hurts my feelings, I think the kill her with kindness route will be the best thing to do. I am so overwhelmed and exhausted, and I just want to have a perfect Thanksgiving for everyone. I will let her know she is welcome and will ignore her and focus on my other guests. I won't let her ruin my day and will be the bigger person. That's what family does. As much as I will be irritated on the inside, who knows, maybe she will try something and like it. But if she doesn't, that's okay too. Yes, your Mill is being rude and disrespectful, but uninviting her is not the answer. Here's what you do. Welcome her and her special meal with open arms. Kill her with kindness. Be sure to point out to the other guests, in a lovey-dovey, if perhaps a wee bit patronizing, tone of voice, how Mill has special needs and brought her own food, and your significant other glad she could make it even though eating away from home is so difficult for her. Offer to help her heat up her meal. Tell her it looks absolutely delicious and ask for her recipes, and ask her if she could bring one of her wonderful dishes to the next gathering. Meanwhile, you and your other guests can enjoy your fabulous meal, and your Mill can listen to all the compliments you get for it. Not the asshole. Am I the asshole for offering 2 different kinds of cake at our wedding? My husband, Josh, 29F, and I, 27F, just had our wedding a couple weeks ago, and we mostly got good feedback until today. We have heard that a lot of people have been smack-talking the cake behind our backs. Josh and I originally were going to have a smaller wedding at a resort. We were fortunate enough to be given some money to invite extra guests, so we decided to expand the wedding and have some of our second cousins and their kids, and some friends that we otherwise don't get to see as often. We are on a budget, so we decided to keep the fancy cake, the cutting cake for the pictures, not the real cake, for immediate family and the pastor and a few members of the wedding party that we have known for the longest. We gave them the cake in boxes to take home though, so they wouldn't be eating it in front of everyone else. Minus the pastor, because he flew out from a ways and he is vegan, so he couldn't eat the dinner, and we wanted him to have something to eat before it got too late. We got a couple sheet cakes. One was vanilla and buttercream with rosettes, and then there was another sheet cake of pineapple chocolate chunk, especially for Josh's side of the family, because they spend a lot of time in Florida. We found out from talking with family that there was a lot of full slices left behind on people's plates of the pineapple cake, which the servers would not take home with them, so we noticed you can see it in a lot of the pictures. We were having too much fun to notice at the time. We loved catching up with all our guests. Apparently Josh's family did not like the cake like we thought they would, and there have been some unkind words behind our backs. We got a text from Josh's uncle that wasn't meant for us to see, and it really stung. We are unsure where to go from here and what to say. The cake did not go off like we hoped, but we think they are being unnecessarily mean. By the way, there was a full dinner, 3 kinds of cheese, even Monterey Jack, available, and an open bar that didn't close until late. So I feel like we were pretty good to our guests on a shoestring budget. Too long did not read. We gave out 2 different flavors of cake at our wedding. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole, but I'm a bit confused as to what Josh's family, spending a lot of time in Florida, has to do with deciding to have a pineapple chocolate cake. I lived in Florida for almost a decade, and I can tell you with complete confidence that there is zero connotation between Florida and pineapples. I think you're confusing Florida with Hawaii. Lol. But beyond that, the combo of pineapple and chocolate just sounds yucky, and I think that's likely what people are speculating on. Honestly, I wouldn't sweat it. Everyone will forget about it shortly, I'm sure. What matters is if you enjoyed your wedding. Personally, I'm still stuck on the cheese comment. Am I the asshole for not going on a family vacation if my cousin brings her kids? Throwaway. Background. I, 28F, have been going to school full-time and working full-time and teaching fitness classes as a side gig for the past 4 years. The 2 years before that, I was juggling 2-3 jobs at a time to save up for school. I can count on one hand the number of small breaks I've had in the last 6 years. I am very tired but graduate in a few short weeks. The situation. Since my schedule is freeing up, my parents and 2 older sisters decided we wanted to go on a week's vacation early next year. We have been planning and discussing, and so far it's just been the 5 of us. My mom called me this past weekend and said that my oldest sister wanted to invite my cousin on vacation with us and asked what I thought. I immediately said I would not be coming if she was too. My cousin has a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old, and she would absolutely be bringing them if she came. I cannot imagine anything less relaxing than being on vacation with 2 toddlers, and as I said, I haven't been on vacation in 6 years. My mom said she agreed with me but was pretty neutral on the whole situation, but she would tell my sister that my cousin couldn't come. Flash forward to last night, and my oldest sister called and told me I was a complete asshole for not letting my cousin come on vacation with us. She was raging. We got in a fight about it and haven't talked since. The rest of my family is staying out of it. Flash forward to last night, and my oldest sister called and told me I was a complete asshole for not letting my cousin come on vacation with us. Except that's not what happened. You said that if cousin and her kids came, you wouldn't be going. 2 different things. Not unreasonable of you at all. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. It's a vacation, not their family holiday. If she brings her kids, there is no guarantee she won't try and guilt you to watch them so she can have a break and enjoy her vacation too. A vacation with kids is not exactly relaxing. I don't blame you for not wanting them there. Guard your peace. You didn't say you wouldn't let your cousin go on the vacation. You said that if she went, you wouldn't. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Vacationing with 2 toddlers sounds like the opposite of relaxing. I cannot imagine anything less relaxing than being on vacation with 2 toddlers. I agree. Not the asshole. Am I the asshole for not punishing my child for a simple mistake and kicking my sister out? So I, 30F, have a little girl, 6F. I grew up in an environment where every mistake was punishable. Dropped ice cream? No more for the rest of the month. Accidentally broke something? Grounded. When I had my child, I swore I wouldn't punish her severely unless it was very big. So my sister, 34F, lost her job, so I opened my doors to her and her son, 7M. It's been going pretty okay, but I recently noticed how whenever her son would make a mistake, he'd act like it was the end of the world. For example, he and my daughter were playing tag in the house and they accidentally knocked over a vase. I heard the crash from my office at home, and when I came, my nephew started bawling and saying he was sorry. I asked him if they were both okay and told them that next time don't run around in the house. He looked at me in confusion before running off when he heard his mother coming. I thought that was really weird but shrugged it off and cleaned up the mess. So last week I took the kids to the park and my sister tagged along. I bought some ice cream for the both of them and watched them while they played. I needed to go to the bathroom, so I asked my sister to please watch the two of them while I was gone. She obliged. I come back and my daughter is crying, her ice cream is on the ground, and my sister is yelling at her while my nephew is also crying. I ask what is wrong and my sister tells me that while running around despite my sister telling her not to, my daughter dropped her ice cream. My daughter then said that my nephew was chasing her with a worm on a stick, so she was trying to run away from him. I checked up on her to make sure she hadn't hurt herself before exploding on my sister. I yelled saying she had no right to yell at my child, while she said she was making sure my daughter didn't grow up to be a brat, seeing as I don't punish her. I told her I make sure my daughter learns from her mistakes and only discipline her if it's warranted. I then told her to leave my house, to which she did the very next day. Now I'm getting messages from my family asking me how could I turn away my sister and her son when they had nowhere to go, and I'm heartless. I feel really bad since her son did nothing wrong, so am I the asshole? Edit. To some of the questions. 1. Yes, I've talked to my sister about her parenting before and she didn't want to hear it, so I butted out. 2. My daughter has never broken a vase before. It was raining so they couldn't play outside. It was a one-time thing. And I did discipline her by not letting them go to the park. I rearranged the day. 3. My sister and her son are not homeless. They are now living with one of her friends. 4. I know my daughter was telling the truth because I've raised her not to lie, and my nephew admitted to me he was chasing her with a worm. 5. I kicked her out because she was yelling at my child. This has happened once before when my daughter dropped a cup when trying to pick it up and my sister yelled at her. I told her not to yell at my child and she agreed. 6. I am on thin ice with my sister, so right now isn't the best time to bring up my nephew. However, the kids still talk over the phone at night, so that's progress. 7. I've sent my sister a message wanting to talk. She's coming over this afternoon. Not the asshole. You're doing right by your girl and you're breaking the cycle of abuse, which I can personally attest is extremely difficult to do. Your sister, on the other hand, is continuing the cycle and her poor wee guy sounds terrified of her. Not the asshole. Punishing little kids for accidents is lazy parenting at best and extremely traumatizing parenting at worst. You need to look at the actions that led to the accident to determine what to do, and it sounds like your sister needs to learn that. You're doing great and your kid is lucky to have you.